Hello and welcome to 18 WJTS in.form. Have you been to the Dubois County Museum and gone to the train room? We're going to find out about that and the Dubois County Model Train Club. Joining us in the studio is Kelly and Bill Stroud. Now, Kelly, you are the secretary of the Dubois County Model Train Club, and Bill, you're the vice president, and at one time was the president. Okay. Now, let's start off with what is the Dubois County Model Train Club, and a little history on that.
Well, the originally started as basically a bare bones layout. It was in 1999, the basement of the former Older Americans building on Jackson Street, and they had an HO and an N-scale train set. So then in 2004, they moved to the current location inside of the Dubois County Museum. Les Lori and Scotty Davis started the original layout. And then in 2012, club meetings started happening, and then official club bylaws were drawn up in 2016 under then club president Fred Williams. 2018, under club president Bill Stroud, updates were made to the room. We did major renovations in just under 2 months. We built a new train layout table, we built a new layout, scenery was started. We got a grant through the Dubois REC Operation Roundup. The grant was for $1,500. We changed out the lighting, we repainted the room, we changed out ceiling tiles, we built a new ramp so that people could see it easier. We have about 15 or so members right now. We're working on our rendition of the Norfolk Southern line from Louisville to St. Louis as it passes through Dubois County.
That's what's loosely based on. The layout is now.
Okay, so, and the Dubois County Model Train Club is a club that anybody can join. Do you have to have a train? Do you have to have a model train to join it?
No.
No, just interest, right?
Yes.
Okay. And if you have no train, this is a great way to get yourself started to find out about it. I have to ask you this. Do you have a train in your house? Do you have
We
model
have one in the
trains?
garage,
Okay, all right.
big one.
But if I were talking about the museum, is it right to call it the train room? Is it right?
Yes.
Okay, it's the
It's
train
literally
room.
the train room.
All right. Is somebody from the Model Train Club always there, or does the museum kind of turn it on for you if somebody goes to visit?
Yeah,
The
museum
museum staff will take
they'll
care of it.
when we're not there.
Okay. But you guys basically are the ones that maintain it and
Yes.
run it, and that's your train set. And is it multiple train sets from people? What will we see if we go to the train room?
We have a lot of trains that were donated, like the engines and the cars and things. And we'll go in there every so often and make sure everything's running and put trains together. That way the museum staff doesn't have to worry about that. We're working on sections. We've got them where it goes from Birdseye and all the way down to Huntingburg, and then we have a connection to Jasper. We're working on the Huntingburg and Jasper connection right now, trying to get it ready. It's just like what you would see if you were on the train going through Dubois County. So we have the hills and the hollers and the
Bridges.
curves and bridges and everything.
And it's loosely based.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because we
sure.
gave ourselves a little bit of
Leeway.
Are there any cows? People?
We have people, we have hay bales,
Okay.
we have
yeah.
tractors.
We're working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get some scale people. We're still working on that.
Now, and we're talking about HO scale.
HO scale.
Let's talk a little bit about
Okay.
model train scales. What is the scale system?
Okay, HO. This is the track that we have on the layout. And the layout, it's actually 8 feet by 54 feet. That's the actual size of the layout.
Wait, 8 feet by
54 feet.
54 feet
long. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
It takes up the almost entire room.
Well, yeah.
That's pretty tight. So it's about 3/4 of an inch from rail to rail. And then this is one of the locomotives. This is an SD90, which actually is ran in the state of Indiana. It's Indiana Railroad. And this is one of their locomotives. But, and they're precision engines. Everything's precision now. I mean, they've gotten really, over the years, the different companies have made them more lifelike. So
you buy bits and pieces and put together the train?
yeah.
Okay. Is it always the same train that's running on that line, or is it like if I go today, I might see the Indiana train,
Yeah.
and I go tomorrow, I might see a Monon train?
We generally, we do have Monon. We try to run Norfolk Southern and Indiana Louisville, stuff that a lot of our guys are used to seeing around this area, gals and guys. And that's kind of the ones that you'll see. You'll see Indiana Railroad and you'll see Norfolk Southern. And if we're down there, we'll run Indiana Railroad and some other different brands or companies, I guess.
And along the wall, are there trains? Little train? I mean, because obviously you're not running all the trains. There's also
Yeah.
displays of trains.
We have a
Yeah.
big display that has all the scales of trains. It goes from, I think it's
In scale.
in scale all the way up to G scale.
Okay.
So
So how big is a G? What's a G scale?
G scale is a garden scale. It's generally the tracks are, it's pretty good size. It's at least 3 inches wide
Okay.
from rail to rail. And then probably what you've seen a lot of is the O gauge, which is about 1.5 inches. That's probably the pretty common size.
When I was a kid, it was a Lionel train set I had.
Yeah.
Was that O scale?
That would be O scale.
Okay, because the
or O
engine
gauge.
was about that big, and okay.
that'd be like
yeah.
around the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this is HO scale.
HO, yeah.
Which you told me means. What does HO mean?
It's loosely half of O.
Okay.
That's what it turned into, but there's others, and there's N scale, which is half of this, which actually means 9 millimeter. So it's half of the, and then Z scale is even half of N gauge. So you're going really tiny.
What is the smallest?
I think they're down to T gauge, which is half of Z gauge. So it's really small.
And in the museum, will it be only the HO scale, or do you have a little bit of the other ones?
We have 2 N scales that we can travel around with, and then we have the main HO scale and the museum.
Where does your interest come from? Why are you part of the Dubois County Model Train Club?
I am because of him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I got into it because of my uncle. He was a big HO layout fan, so I've got one at home because that's where it all started with my uncle Wesley.
So if somebody is interested in this, what's the best way for them to get started? Just to go and buy themselves a little train set at a department store, or what do you?
I would go to the museum and just ask, one of the members, go to one of our meetings even, and just run this stuff because it can get expensive pretty quick, and just find out what kind of train set you would like to have because we have members who have different sizes, the O gauge and HO and N scale. And you can do. I'm sure with COVID ending, they'd probably allow them to go home, sometime come over and run a train at their house or something like that. So you could make your decision what gauge you want to go with. That's a good idea, I guess.
So when is the train room open at the Dubois County Museum?
It's always open. It's just, you just have to go find a staff member if there's no one in there. Be like, hey, I want to check out the museum or the trains. Can you run them for me?
Yeah.
And we're always accepting new members. We actually have a Facebook page. It's called the Dubois County Museum Model Train Club.
Yeah.
And they can message us on there, or they can leave a message for our club president, Boyd Dick Jr., at the museum. So anytime. We have meetings on Mondays. Sometimes it's the first Monday of the month. Sometimes it's the second Monday of the month. We actually have a meeting coming up here real soon.
Yeah.
So
What do you do at a meeting?
we discuss
Everybody
club
just
business.
talks about trains, right?
Well, no, we discuss sometimes we want to go somewhere, have a little field trip. There's a gentleman up in Greene County, he has a layout that's modeled after Salisbury, and he runs Indiana Railroad engines. We've been up to see his layout. We go to different places, we've done train shows in Evansville. We've had our own train shows.
Yeah, we've had 4.
Yeah, we just kind of go around to different places and look and see what their layout is and see if, can we incorporate something like that similar in ours. So
What do you hope people get when they go to the train room? What do you hope they walk away remembering? What is something you think will impress them in the train room?
It's more of a history,
Yeah.
kind of a history of
We even
the
have a
Dubois
little
County's
library built.
trains. The different depots and how people interacted, how they got around in the last century. That's kind of it's more of a historical thing we're trying to put across.
It's really cool. I just think it's so neat that the Dubois County Museum in itself is an amazing place for a county to have.
Yeah.
And then put on top of that the safari room, and then put on top of that the train room, which really is fairly new. The days that you were talking about, so it's growing, changing.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else that you'd like to add about the Dubois County Model Train Club or the museum train room?
Just to be a member, you just need to be able to pay dues it's, I think for a single membership for the county museum is $25.
You just have to have a membership to the museum.
And then we do the $50 for the family plan.
Well, us personally, we have the little family plan, so that's,
Yeah.
That's the best way to go.
Mm-hmm.
You can go-
So you don't have to pay every time you go in. That's the
Yeah.
idea.
All right, so we encourage you to go to the Dubois County Museum and especially check out the train room at the Dubois County Museum. And if you are interested in model trains, join the club, the Dubois County Model Train Club. I'm sure you can contact Kelly or Bill and they'll get you set up. Check them out on Facebook.
Yep.
All right, we'd like to thank our guests, Kelly and Bill Stroud. They are with the Dubois County Model Train Club, and we've been talking about the Dubois County Museum and the train room there. Thanks to both of you for coming in. Thank you for watching 18 WJTS. We are local people watching local people.